beautiful friends. Welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you guys with me for this very special pick a card where I'm going to be looking into how women view you versus how men view you. And if this is your first time with me, welcome. My name is Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer, and I deliver messages through the cards that help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. So I have three piles for you guys to select from. Pile number one has the pine bough with the starburst pendant. Then pile number two has the pine cone and the red berries. And then finally pile number three has the milkweed pod and the dried orange flowers. So to help you guys select your pile, I'm going to give you guys a close-up of the items and the cards in just a moment, and I will see you at your pile very soon. Hi, pile number one, welcome back. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be looking at how women view you versus how men view you. So this pile of cards right here is going to tell me how women view you. Then I'll get into more decks and we'll find out about how men view you. But to start off with, I want to talk about the items that you selected. So we've got the evergreen bough or the pine bough, as well as the starburst pendant. So the sense that I get is that you are a person who really knows how to overcome difficulties, how to push yourself out of stagnancy, how to exude love to others, to be an inspiration, to face your own fears and to constantly push yourself to better yourself. And whether it is men or women viewing you, they're inspired is the sense that I get. Like the starburst is talking about wish fulfillment. It can talk about excitement and celebration. And the color green is connected to the heart chakra, which is all about love and helping people to like find stability and community. There is a lot of growth that you bring to people's lives and a lot of celebration, a lot of love, and you do support them through like the harder times in their lives because of course the evergreen is known to be an evergreen because it's still fully green and in growth even in the depths of winter. So this is a beautiful start. Let's see what the cards can tell us about how women view you, pile number one. So the first card that you received is the star, which goes right back to the starburst pendant. So this is a card that's talking about wish fulfillment. It's talking about alignment, magic. It can be talking about really being in tune with who you are on a deeper level, on a spiritual level. And when I look at this card, I get the sense that you are a person who has really faced your own demons. There is a rainbow on the card. So that really speaks to me about the 7 primary chakras, which are all contributing to who you are and how you engage in the world on an energetic level in a different way. And to see this beautiful rainbow and to see all of this star symbolism, it really makes me feel like you have gone through all kinds of trials in your life that have helped you to see your own light, to help figure out where you want to go, what kind of wish fulfillment do you want to have, remove blockages, and lean into your own intuition and your own empathy. Of course, the only time we see a rainbow is after a storm. So you're an inspiration to other people. You help them to see that there can be a light at the end of the tunnel, and that even though they might be experiencing pain, having a lot of tears, it's all going to build up to something really, really beautiful. Because of course, the other, mythology that I see connected to the rainbow has to do with finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like, that through this hardship and alignment that you're going to be led to abundance. And abundance can be money and like physical possessions, but it can also be just feeling completely fulfilled and grateful for your life. So you're a true inspiration to the women that you know. Next, you received adaptability, card number 1. So you're obviously a person who is very adaptable to the energy and the situations that are around you. You might be someone who is perpetually learning, perpetually growing, like the evergreen, and you are constantly seeking knowledge. And this card is all green, which once again takes me back to that heart chakra energy that you just exude love. Women feel that from you. You might have a lot of women that have strong romantic feelings towards you as well. You might be part of the LGBTQ community as well with the rainbow. But I get this sense with the adaptability card that once again, you've really been able to see the silver lining that's connected with some of the harder things in your life. You know that these challenges are helping you to align with something bigger than, you know, what you can perceive at this moment. It's kind of like you really understand that the universe is working in your favor, and that given enough time, you'll be able to understand why all of this has happened. Next, you received bad company. All right, so this particular card could be telling me a couple of different things. One, it could be saying that some of these hardships that you've experienced have come at the hands of women that have been in your life. That you might have been someone who really challenged other women around you. They might have felt very threatened by you because you are coming forward with a lot of love energy. Like there's just a strong sense of hope and wish fulfillment and love that's coming through these cards. And then this bad company card features this goddess who has a lot of fire around her. And fire is connected to the energy of death. You know, that's where the renewal comes from. But it's like there's this sense of there might have been women around you that had a lot of hubris, is the word that just came forward. They had a lot of ego and they wanted to be bigger and better and more powerful than you, but not just specifically you, just everyone. You know, if you identify as a woman, this might have been frenemy energy. This might have been women who don't get along with other women. You know, they see you as competition. Oh, I just heard pick me. So there might have been women in your life that came forward that were really in their shadow and saw you, instead of being a sister, they saw you as competition, and that they wanted to have dominance. They wanted to win out over you. And you might have had some of these people in your life close to you, right? Like I said, frenemies. But you learned something from this. You learned who you didn't want to be. And you also learn how to cut ties with them. Like these women might have been the catalyst for you to go through your death phase, right? To like cut ties with what doesn't work any longer, right? To like lose a lot, but so then you can gain a lot. Fire is destructive, as we know. You know, I've mentioned this before. I love this example, but fire can rip through a forest and wipe out an entire area of growth. But at the same time, it can also heal that environment, dissolving disease and helping there to be more fertile soil, or punching holes in a dense forest so that light can reach the ground and saplings can grow. There's this sense that this might have been painful and there might have been a lot of competition, but you actually ended up being victorious. And you might have been someone who other women look to as sort of their nemesis, is the sense that I get. So we'll come back to that. There's a sense that there's going to be more information related to that. Okay, so you got back and forth, and it's card number 5. So going back to the adaptability card, you are somebody who's really able to find balance, but it's not because you have finally reached this point in your life where everything is predictable and stable and you never have to deal with conflict or any kind of hardships. The number 5 is indicating that yes, you do have to deal with conflict. There might still be women that come into your life and see you as competition, or they want to take something away from you. And you've been able to learn how to be adaptable and roll with the punches and find your own stability, whether that is just avoiding these people or, being very diplomatic with them. There's a sense that you will only give your energy to those who are worthy of having your full undivided focus. And those that are not willing to give back or are too much in their shadow, you don't wish them any ill will, but you will pull back. And you might have had lots of women in your life in the past that were seeking to take something from you. They were like I said, strongly in their ego, and they wanted to make you look bad, or they wanted to take something from you. Maybe they were in competition with you. They wanted your clothes. They wanted your job. They wanted the relationship that you were in. They wanted people to not like you, as well as the sense that I got. But this just made life more difficult for them. That even when you were younger, maybe you worried about this kind of thing, but as you got older, and this might not be something you're fully embodying yet, but you will in the future, you started to realize that they don't matter, and no matter how amazing the rest of the world thinks these people are, you know that if they are making you feel terrible, then they are not worthy of your admiration or your energy, and you just completely cut yourself off from that, and you're only going to give energy to those that know how to give back. Next, you receive gorilla. Take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. Yes, you're an extremely compassionate, loving person. You and the gorilla, I just sense this strength. You bring a lot of strength to the women in your life. They feel like family to you. And some of these people might actually literally be your family members. But this might be chosen family, and you listen to their problems, you listen to their struggles, and you help give them support through those hard times. Next, you received energy with the orange, card number 28, so that would reduce down to the number 10, and we also have the water symbol and Virgo. So you might have strong Virgo placements. And there is the sun on this card. You bring a lot of vitality, and the sun is connected to growth. It's also connected to the divine masculine energies. So you might have strong divine masculine energy, even if you identify as being a feminine, right? So divine masculine energy is connected to the fire energy that I was mentioning before, and growth and being driven and passionate and standing at the center of the spotlight. It has a lot to do with fearlessness. But this card also has the water symbol, and water is connected to the divine feminine and intuition and empathy, and you strongly have that. So there is this balance within you. And orange, I think of being cleansed. I think of things being, vitamin C, like a healthy mindset, a healthy body, and invigoration is strongly coming forward. But with the 2 and the 8, and then reducing down to the number 10. So 2, you have strong partnerships. There are probably women that consider you to be their closest friend, or you've had strong love partnerships with women. The number 8 is talking about cycles. It can be talking about karmic cycles. It can be talking about periods of abundance. It also makes me think of the seasons, really being in alignment, even when things are sort of slowing down, that they're going to pick up again. Like just really being in flow is strongly what's coming forward. But then the number 10 is talking about the ending of those cycles and the struggles. Like you learn from that and you're an inspiration to others as a result of that. Then you received the puppeteer, explanations and apologies, and there is the water symbol. Wow. Okay, so 1, going back to this bad company, I knew this would come up again. Okay, so for the majority of you, women really have a positive opinion of you. They really see you as an inspiration and all of the beautiful things that I've already mentioned. But there is another group of women that feel like you are manipulative or that you hold power over them or you're pulling strings. It's like you're using all of these beautiful gifts to your advantage and they're seeing it as something negative. But I honestly don't believe that that's what you're doing at all. I think it's their perception, right? It's how they view the world and the conclusions that they come to as a result of that. They couldn't possibly imagine that you would be getting ahead because you are a genuinely loving person, because they don't see the world that way, right? There's this strong competition energy that I get from the bad company. Like this is like women who don't like other women. They don't get along with other women. They see them as competition. And it's like they're all in competition because in their mind, there isn't enough for women in general. So they have to like really be competitive. And they have to like manipulate people to get ahead is strongly what's coming forward. And that is their own cross to bear. That is something that they're going to have to face. There's definitely going to be karmic lessons that they're going to have to learn as a result of this. And I think that you are an individual who definitely can relate to this energy. Like there's a reason why these people have been in your orbit. They have possibly manipulated you. They've possibly used your emotions, your empathy, and your compassion against you, or they see those as weaknesses so that it's an in for them. Like, I know how I'm going to get ahead. I'm going to tell this person a sob story and then they're going to feel sorry for me and then I'm going to be able to steal what's theirs. It's this strong sense that they're going to use your beauty against you. And maybe that's like you might be a very physically attractive person as well. And they might see that as something that they're envious of. And so they belittle you as a result of this. Like the sense I get is like, they're just really, really jealous. And everything that's beautiful about you, they want to downplay because they feel like if you're at the top, then they're at the bottom. And like you can't both be shining at the same time. Whereas you don't see the world that way at all. You celebrate other people's victories. You want them to feel confident and happy and excited about the things that are going well in their lives. And like there's this strong like sense of like women supporting women is the sense that I get. And whereas they feel like your compassion is a weakness, it's your strength and you're not going to apologize for that. And there's this sense that you can read the room. Like you can tell when someone is not being genuine with you and you'll avoid them at all costs. And that might be very frustrating for these women as well. I do get the sense that the bad company is the frenemy energy and you've cut them off. Then you also got passion, and there is this woman dancing in the fire. There's this strong sense of like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Like you instead of like burning in the flames of these jealous women that want to take you down, you learned how to dance. You learned how to take this period that could have been a death phase and you turned it into a birth phase. Like they might have tried to destroy your reputation. There's this strong, like, Mean Girls, like, burn book energy. And, like, you did not let that tear you down. Like, they can spread rumors, they can say negative things about you, and you are never going to allow that to destroy your sense of self. And it's just love just like pours out of you. And if you're not there yet, if you're dealing with like bullies and mean girls and you're like, I don't know how this is ever going to turn around, like you just feel like a victim to the like whims of these people, I promise you the energy will transmutate. You're still in that phase where you're learning how to recover from this and then rise above it, and then you're just going to leave them in the dust is the sense I get. Lilith, you got Lilith, Independence, card number 30. So this I have goosebumps right now. So the mythology around Lilith, the most popular story surrounding her is that she was the first wife of Adam, and she was his equal. They were both made from the same material. She didn't come from Adam like Eve was a rib from Adam. She was his equal, but he didn't see her as his equal. He saw her as being beneath him. He wanted to be superior and above her, and she tried to collaborate and find balance with him, and he just would not. He would not cooperate with her. And so she left. Not only did she leave him, she left the Garden of Eden and she went out into the wild on her own. She didn't know where she was going or what was going to come from that. But she eventually ended up rising up to the level of a goddess. And that is the energy that you bring, right? You have faced hardship. You have faced situations where people wanted to put you down. They wanted to be above you. They wanted to really burn you and really hurt your reputation. And they were jealous of you. And they thought you were too powerful. And they didn't want you to know that. And you have found your independence, or you will, because this Lilith energy is going to inspire you. It's going to give you that power to be able to be strong and stand in your own divine feminine energy. And it doesn't matter if you identify as being a woman or not. We all have divine feminine and divine masculine energy within us. And with that, you are going to be able to find the community that really is seeking the kind of energy that you bring to the table. And I think that you are a strong inspiration to younger women, especially if you identify as being a woman. I think that you're bringing a different flavor of what it is to be a woman, a different flavor of femininity altogether. And you are inspiring. And it's through hardship and pain that you've been brought to this. I strongly get the sense that this is part of your divine purpose. And, you know, if you're struggling to make sense of like why certain people like don't like you, or, you know, why sometimes relationships boil down to this energy of competition, it might have something to do with Lilith. You might want to look at your Black Moon Lilith placement. It might give you a sense of understanding when it comes to that, because Black Moon Lilith can be talking about where we have shame. But what I have found with that particular placement, it can also be a trigger. It can be a divine feminine trigger where you can potentially sort of like ignite competition or hostility from other women. And it just might give you a deeper sense of understanding of self. Like for myself, I have Black Moon Lilith in the first house, which means that when women meet me, sometimes they feel in strong competition with me, which was a huge, huge confusing experience for me because I see women as my sisters. Like, I am not in competition with any of you. I want you all to be shining, and I want to celebrate all of your victories. And for various reasons, my strength really threw some women off, and they would feel uncomfortable around me because Lilith could also be an energy that brings out the shadow within others, especially depending on the placement. But for myself, it had been a situation where I would bring forward like all of the shadow energy and the things that they had been trying to bury, and that energy would come out when they were around me, which was my shadow work energy. Like, when I'm around people, my energy naturally makes them, have to face the things that are holding them back. And that's, I think, what makes me effective as like a tarot card reader and a healer. And so it actually ended up being a strong blessing, but there was a lot of challenges with that in the beginning of my life. And so this Lilith energy might actually be a blessing and a curse to you. But once you start to embrace this and you really start to understand how powerful and beautiful this energy can be, wow, will it ever be a blessing? And it will guide you towards other women that love this strong feminine energy and support this kind of power, this strong diva energy. And it will also help you to attract other people, but also other men that also respect this. And they see that there should be equality between the genders. All right, this is beautiful. So, like I said, the overall sense that I get is for the majority of women that meet you, they're strongly inspired and they feel like you bring a lot of stability. And then there are these women that are in strong competition with you, and it's really up to you to be able to find that balance and to cut cords with those that want to take you down and not waste time and energy on those people, so that you can move towards like your wish fulfillment, and along with that inspire others to plant their own seeds for growth. Beautiful. This is lovely. Okay, so I'm going to move this up here. And now I'd like to talk about how men view you. So, Spirit, please tell me, how do men view pile number 1? Okay, so let's see. Oh, interesting. All right, so the first card that came out is the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this could be talking about how you might be a little blocked when it comes to encouraging any kind of like romantic interest from divine masculines. You might not like men. You might not be interested in dating men, and they pick up on that, and they're like, they want to be able to come towards you, but you have no interest in dealing with this kind of like Romeo type energy, because the Knight of Cups can often be masculine energy that is kind of illusionary. Like, they love to be thought of as like Prince Charming. They come forward and they're like all about the dreams of the future, but there isn't a lot of substance there, and you're not having it for various reasons. 1, you might not be interested in men. 2, you might just not be interested in this kind of energy when it comes to men. You are looking for reciprocity, the 6 of Cups. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. That is interesting. I meant to say the 6 of Pentacles. So the 6 of Pentacles is all about a fair and even trade. I see you. I see the light in you. I am giving to you equally what I expect for you to give back to me. But what I said was the 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups is talking about also that reciprocity, like I am emotionally giving to you what you are giving back to me. But it can also be talking about connecting with the past, fond memories of the past. So men might feel like they knew you from the past, that there is this familiarity that they have with you. There's something comforting about you. Now, you might have also had a lot of friends that are masculines that you've known your entire life. You have long history with them. Or you might have had men that have come back from the past and they've wanted to try and rekindle. I get the sense that for many of you, there are men that knew you in the past, wanted to have a relationship with you. They were, this Knight of Cups in reverse, not really offering much. And you were like, nope, I don't want any of that. I'm not interested in that. And then they go away and they're like, oh, I'm going to heal. I'm going to get better. And then they think, oh, I'm ready. And then they come back and they're like trying it again, but you're constantly growing. You're constantly healing. So, by the time they heal and they level up one level, you've already leveled up another 2 or 3 levels. Like they're constantly trying to play catch up to you. And it's not working for them. But they do see you as somebody who's extremely balanced. There's this back and forth energy again, where you're able to multitask. Like you might be extremely savvy when it comes to business with all of these pentacles. You might be an entrepreneur with the Ace of Pentacles. You've got your own thing going on. They might also see you as somebody who's very inspiring to them. Like you see where they could potentially be very successful in the future, and you help give them guidance and advice that would help them to build their own pentacles and to find that balance. You're also a very creative person. You're a creative thinker is the sense that I get. That you have lots going on and you are freely giving of ideas. Like I get the sense that many of you are very in tune with spirit. Like you are constantly channeling information from the beyond. You probably don't even realize that you're doing that. If you get a lot of bolts of inspiration and you just have big ideas, that is coming from spirit. And you freely seem to share that with others. And these men find you very exciting to be around. They like bouncing ideas off of you. You challenge them in all the right ways. And they have a hard time though understanding that you just want to be friends. They can't seem to shut off their libido. They want to just be friends with you. And for many of you, you have friendships with men that you've known since you were children, and they see you as a sister or a sibling, and they're not asking for more. But it's the new men that come into your life where you bring in all of these ideas, and maybe you're very successful in business and they're so inspired, and then it just seems to cross over into them wanting a physical relationship with you. All right, let's get some more cards. How do men view pile number 1? All right. So you got the protection card. So this could mean that they feel like you are a protective force in their life. There is a tiger on this card. There is something coming forward about how you're able to help them see their own shadows. Help them to possibly see opportunities too, because the tiger is all about hunting in the darkness, being able to position yourself at exactly the right moment in time to, reap the rewards that you're seeking. And there's a lot of moon energy, which is talking about illusions. And there is Aries on this card. So fire energy, passion, just drive, going after what you want. So you're able to inspire that energy within them. But this also could be talking about them feeling very protective of you as a result. There is this mother with her children, and she is comforting them and cuddling them. So, you might be this nurturing force in men's lives. That might have, if you're interested in men, that might have been a huge obstacle for you because, you come in with all of this fiery, passionate Lilith, independent energy, and they're inspired, but then there's a sense that they want to, like, put you into this traditional gender norm again, where it's like, you're the mom and you're going to take care of the babies, including them. And I think that might have been a real challenge for you, honestly. But you might also just have this strong, nurturing energy, and they might just see you as potential for being the mother of their children, that they want to put down roots with you. And maybe some of these men never thought about that before. Like, you were the first person that they ever met that they were like, wow, I really want to build something. I don't want to be a bachelor any longer. You, like, help them to, like, see the truth and to get into alignment with, like, where they're meant to go. Then you got the criticism card. So this is Demeter on this card. So she is the goddess of the harvest. And there is Mars and Virgo on this card. And Virgo is connected to Demeter, is also connected to Aphrodite and all of the divine feminine goddess energies. And then there's the number 6. And 6 is all about balance and reciprocity. And it can also be connected to a union of divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Okay, so with all of that summed up, I get the sense that men see you as extremely attractive, very fertile and abundant. They have their eye on you and they want you. But, like I said before, you have this strong Lilith energy. You might not be interested in them. You might not be attracted to men at all. And they take that as a huge ego blow, and they feel like you're being critical of them, like, I'm not good enough. Well, if you're not interested in men, you're not interested in men. It's not a critique of them personally. But you might also be interested in men, and you're just very discerning about who you want to spend your time with. And you don't want someone to limit your growth. Like, you don't want to be pigeonholed, like, and play a role, like, as a sidekick to somebody. You want to be able to be independent and reap the harvest that you sowed. Like, you planted seeds. You want that success. And when you don't sort of, like, give up everything that you're building to, help cultivate growth in their life, they feel very wounded and they feel like you're being critical of them. And so then they turn the tables and they start criticizing you. And that is definitely a sign that they are deeply unhealed and extremely immature. And they are not the kind of people that you would want to be romantically connected with or friends with. But it's like you do have this very polarizing energy. Like, people love you or hate you is the sense that I get. Then you got the Harmony card. This is so beautiful. And it has the Sun and Libra and card number 7, which is all about alignment again. Like, going back to the star in the rainbow, there are 7 colors in the rainbow. You only see a rainbow when the sun hits the suspended moisture in the air after a storm. So, like, you're bringing in that illumination to people's lives after they've been through stormy or rocky periods. You help them to find balance. You do that for men, you do that for women, and you do that because you did that for self. And you are authentic. You allow yourself to be seen as you truly are. There might have been times earlier on in life where you felt like you had to wear a mask or you had to be, shy and withdrawn and you didn't want people to see you. But that is no longer your reality. You're just going to truly be authentic. You accept yourself. And you do strongly have spiritual gifts. Like, there's this sense that you get downloads. Some of you might have clairaudience. which is the gift of clear hearing. You would likely hear messages in your own voice. You might not even know it's coming from spirit, but there is this sense of you being able to see beyond. All right, so let's get some final cards to find out how men view you. Pile number 1. Okay. Happiness. You are a very happy person and you bring a lot of happiness into their lives. And this is so strange because we've got all of these birds on this card and then we've got the sun, and that's exactly the same as this harmony card. All of these birds surrounding this individual, and then the sun at the top of the card, which all of the birds are symbols of divine messages coming from spirit. And then, like I was saying before, the sun is connected to growth and illumination. So you help to deliver messages to men that maybe they couldn't hear at any other point in their lives, or you say it in such a way that it's something that they can like accept. They can surrender to that truth, whereas they might have like rebelled against some of the things that you're telling them. And what I mean by that is you might be telling them the cold hard facts, like your problem right now in your life is the creation of this, this, and this, and you're responsible and you need to change this. You need to look at that. You know, like you're helping them with shadow work and you're giving them like the truth, but you're doing it in a loving, gentle, positive way, and it's very beneficial. And then you got gong, an exciting event. So yes, like I was saying before, like this reminds me of fireworks and celebration. Like you know how to celebrate other people's successes, but with the gong, it also feels like a wake-up call. It's like they're finally like having this epiphany about, you know, where they're meant to go and like how they can build their success. And pentacles are connected to everything that we're building in the physical world, and it can be connected to money, but it can also be connected to like creative ideas and you know, anything that is foundational for us. And you help them to see how they can step into that kind of fulfillment in their own lives. Oh my God. So this is so beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to know your thoughts, to, you know, find out about how many of these messages resonated for you or how this is played out in your life. It has been such a pleasure reading for you, and I look forward to reading for you again in the future. I do private readings. If any of you guys are interested in working with me, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. I do tarot card readings, but I do plenty of other things, and you can check all of that out at my website, like I said, odessamall.com. And I wish you all of the best. I am sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 2, welcome back. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be delivering messages to you that will reveal how women view you versus men. The cards in front of me are talking about how women view you, and then I'll get into more decks to talk about the men. Now, to start off with, I want to talk about the items that you chose. You picked the red berries as well as the pine cone. So the overall sense that I get about you is that you are someone who plants seeds. You are somebody who is looking towards the future. You are willing to take your time with things, and you know that you might be putting in effort towards something that you're not going to necessarily see the fruits of until the future. Now, you're someone who is extremely grounded because the red is connected to the root chakra. And you are somebody who has been through trial by fire is the sense that I get. That's what just came forward. This pine cone is open, and that means that the seeds that it was holding have been planted, and it makes me feel like you've been through sort of like cycles of death and rebirth, and you might have been through painful periods where others wanted to take away some of your divine light or your inspiration. There might have been people that didn't want you to plant the seeds that you had inside you. They possibly didn't want you to move away from them. They didn't want you to like go towards your dreams. They didn't want you to succeed because they were afraid that they were going to lose you. Let's see what the cards have to say, and we might get more about that message. So, how do women view you? Pile number 2. The first card you received is Nike, Ambition, card number 39. All right, so you might be somebody who's very active. You might like sports. You are a very victorious person. You are somebody who might be very competitive. You do have a lot of ambition, and that makes sense of this. Like, there are people that like didn't want you to go after all of your dreams. Like, you have all of these things that you want to do. And the things that you want to do might have something to do with collaborations with other people. Because we've got the number 3 and 9. It's card number 39, like I mentioned, which would reduce down to the number 12. But then once again, it reduces down to the number 3. So 3 is all about collaborations, whereas the number 9 is talking about nearing the end of a cycle, really having to like do the work. Like you've been patient. That's where that connects back to. You've been patient, like working, planting seeds, working towards the future, not knowing whether you're going to get the rewards that you wanted, but you're willing to try anyways. This makes me think of like Olympic athletes that like work for decades towards this goal that they have for themselves that they may or may not be able to achieve, like going to the Olympics or some other like major competition like that. Wow. Okay. Next, you received Hidden Motivation. Okay. So women see you as someone who is highly motivated, that you potentially are a little bit guarded. You might not share everything about what your dreams and your plans are for the future. You might be someone who needs to get to know people before you start unveiling like what's inside your heart. You might also be a person that does beautiful things for others, and you don't expect anything in return. Like you do it from their perspective. You're doing it for like, you're motivated to do this for hidden reasons. Like they don't understand why you're doing all of these nice things for people, but they appreciate it nonetheless. And the sense that I get is you do it because you want other people to be happy. You want other people to succeed. You want others to have opportunity, is the sense that I get. This might be a situation where, you donate money or you donate time to a cause that you really believe in. And maybe you don't have a lot of money, and maybe you don't have a lot of time, but you believe in the cause. And so you're doing it for a higher purpose, is the sense that I get. You want others to be inspired as well. Next, you received Fear, card number 5, Energy. Okay, so there are some women that feel a lot of fear around you. They're intimidated. They feel like they're in competition. The sense that I get is that when they're around you, you're just natural energy. The things that you talk about, the passions and desires that you have, makes them feel inferior. Now, that's not because of your actions or your intentions. It's because they are more like you than they would like to admit. They also have dreams and aspirations, but they are keeping it hidden. They don't talk about it because maybe some of the things that you're doing goes against gender norms. Like maybe like you identify as being a woman and you want to become a construction worker, which typically has been a job that was like exclusive to men. And you just go after it. You don't allow any sort of like gender norms or like the, the patterns of the past to hold you back. And it's something that they wanted to do as well. All of these women that are around you, but they're afraid. They're afraid to take that leap. But if this has been something that you've been struggling with, that's been challenging to you, know that you are truly an inspiration to them. This is one of those situations where you have to go first. You're planting the seed, and later on, you will see the change, the growth that happened from you taking that risk. And, you know, these berries are actually poisonous. So it might be a very bitter pill for some women to swallow when it comes to, you know, how you approach life. You might be going after the things that they would like I said, and you're going to succeed. And your success, they don't want for you, because if you succeed, it will prove to them that they probably could have done it as well if they had just been able to overcome their fears. So there's this sense of, this is really quite sad, you know, like most of the energy that I get from this is not that they don't want you to succeed. It's that they don't want to feel like a failure. You know, it's more about them. Like, and you might just be also a very intimidating person because you might have found a lot of success, and they just feel like they're not going to measure up next to you. And some of them might have actually tried to like fight you. And I don't mean in a literal sense. I mean, they've just like maybe been very passive aggressive around you, or they gossip about you and they say things that would deplete you of energy. That's not very nice. Okay, next you got grounding. Potato with the earth element. We've got Virgo on this card. Card number 5, and the sun and the moon. Yes, you have a balance of energy of divine masculine and divine feminine energy. You're very intuitive, but you're also very action oriented. You're willing to be patient. You're very grounded, but you're also ready for the next phase. You're ready to like take those steps forward. It's like, you know that you're gonna have to, good things come to those who wait, but that doesn't mean that you want to wait any longer than you have to. So the Virgo in you might be an energy that's helped you to be very like efficient. It's helped you to really pinpoint where you maybe have like a need to improve, or how you can sort of like structure things better, because Virgo is very detail oriented. Virgo can also be very creative energy as well, very expressive, a lot connected to beauty, but it might also have been something that sort of held you back to a certain degree, because like when the Virgo energy sort of leans into the shadow, it can be more critical. A perfectionist type energy comes out. And you might have been hypercritical of yourself, and that might have like slowed down your growth. But if you are currently in that energy, you really need to focus on self-love and acceptance and grounding yourself and knowing like everything is going to work out exactly the way it's meant to. It might not work out exactly the way you had envisioned, but ultimately it's all working out in your favor, and you're going to be able to gain so much, both materially as well as emotionally, if you just allow yourself to open up to what the universe wants to share with you. I just keep hearing eyes as I look at these potatoes. And of course, like potatoes where the roots grow out are known as the eyes of the potato. There's this sense of the more grounded you get, the more you're going to be able to see things clearly. Like spiritual gifts are going to like start heightening for you, and you're going to be able to understand the motivations of those around you, possibly able to understand their own. You're going to be able to read them. Like there's all of these tarot cards on this card. You're going to be able to read them. You'll know like how to work with difficult people, how to avoid things that might sort of throw you off course. And you might also be able to share some of this knowledge with others, which will help them to have the same kind of strength. Next, you received fertility, watermelon with the water symbol, as well as Leo, card number 29, which would reduce down to the number 11, which is a master number. And the watermelon is all about abundance. So you're a very fertile person. Women see you as very abundant, very loving, very compassionate, but also someone who is very comfortable in the spotlight. Somebody who is a natural born leader. And they want to be led by you. Like, women see you as like boss energy, like that you are someone that they really admire, that you are like seeking a different path is the sense that I get. And it's leading you towards a lot of abundance. That could be material success, money and comforts, that like nice houses and nice cars and all of those things. But it could also have to do with being in the spotlight, and it could have to do with empowerment as what's coming forward. Like, they see you as very empowered. They see you as somebody who is a trailblazer is what just came forward. Wow, that's really exciting. And then you received lighting your path. Yes, you are taking the road less traveled. You are the one that is wandering through the wilderness, like where everything is just like, the sense that I get from this card is that this woman is walking through the jungle, and she's the one that has to cut her way through the foliage. There is no path there. She has to make it herself. And there's all of these magic mushrooms around her. And so there might be this energy of you sort of leaning into your own magic, alchemizing things for yourself so that you can bring forward opportunities. Like, you take risks. This, like, going back to the seeds, you plant seeds knowing that maybe only 25 of them are actually going to grow into anything. But you know that it's important for you to plant all those seeds anyways, because you're never going to be able to tell from where you are right now which seeds are going to sprout. So you just have to go through the ritual is what just came forward. So I don't know whether there are certain things that you do that you're ritualistic about them, and you just are going to continue to do those even though you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But you're led by faith. So you have faith in yourself. You have faith in your creative abilities. You have faith in those around you. I do feel like you're a strong cheerleader to other people. Next, you got shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. Yeah, you definitely understand other people's hidden motivations. You understand why women might feel self-protective or protective of what they have, and they might lash out at you because they see you as somebody who is so strong and so powerful and so accomplished that you could take all of that away from them. They're sort of stuck in their ego, and they need to like learn that they don't have anything to fear, because what is meant for you will always find you. So if, for example, there is something that they've achieved that you also want, and you achieve it, that doesn't mean ultimately it's going to be taken away from them. You can both have the same success. But if something is taken away from them and you receive it, that means that whatever it was had played its part in their lives, and now it's time for that energy to be part of your life, and they're supposed to go in another direction. The sense that I get overall, what I'm trying to get at, is that you're used to and comfortable with change, and even if you've had something for a long time, that doesn't mean it's going to be part of your life forever, and they are not comfortable with that. But I also get the sense that you have a lot of integrity. Like, there might be women that are afraid that you're going to steal their spouse, or you're going to steal their job, and you have no intention of doing that. although you are a very competitive person. And there, like I said, there might be situations where you get the promotion and they don't, but that just means that that was never meant for them in the first place. And they have to figure out where their path is leading them. They have to start being like, they have to overcome their fears to plant all of their own seeds. Like, they seem to be much more selective. Like, these are women that want to, like, okay, I want to only plant the seeds that are going to germinate and grow. And it's like, it just doesn't work that way. You just have to like plant all the seeds and see what happens. You know, there's a certain level of faith that you have to have in the outcome that the universe is building for you. Then you received the Knight of Coins. Knight of Coins, just like I said, you are ready to plant seeds, and this knight is sitting on a camel. You have a lot of personal reserves to keep you going, but camels typically help us to traverse difficult environments, specifically desert, desolate areas. So you are used to having to go long distances without being able to take a break and without being around the kind of resources that you need to make life comfortable. That is not something that a lot of these other women would feel comfortable doing, and you're an inspiration for them as a result. Some, like I said, are challenged and threatened by that energy, but many of them are very inspired. Then you receive the Order, communication and confidence. And we've got the air symbol here, and then the laurel wreath, which is a symbol of victory. Yes, you have strong intuition with the glowing third eye. And like, you have learned a lot from the things that you have lost. You've learned a lot from the things that didn't work out. This hand is holding a skull. You've done a lot of self-reflection, because this reminds me of Macbeth. Yeah, like, you've reflected on the things that didn't work out in your favor, but you've also reflected on the things that did work out in your favor. So there might have been some times when you sought the success over the community. Like, you were as competitive as maybe some of these other women are. And maybe you didn't see these women as allies to you. But you've changed your energy. You don't see things that way any longer. And now you're using your skills and talents to bring confidence to others. You want, like, this is the energy of somebody who goes out and has success, and then they want to, like, build a community, and they want to inspire the next generation, or they organize a bursary fund so people can, you know, participate in the same activities that you did. You know, like, you create some sort of fund so those that can't play a particular sport have the resources to be able to do it. Like, there's just like this strong sense of, I have achieved, I have found success, now I'm going to help others to do the same thing. And specifically, it has something to do with you helping women do that. Oh my God, you got the fertility card again. So you are an extremely abundant, fertile person. You might be a mom or a parent. That might be something that you aspire to be. And people definitely think that you would be a really, really, like, what I wanted to say was powerful, which is such a weird way of describing parenthood. Like, you'd be a very powerful parent. So maybe that's the sense that you would be, like, all in. Like, you would just be, like, completely dedicated to being a parent. You would be very inspiring. Like, you would really help to, like, lift up your child to be able to express themselves, or to, like, you know, you want to help make the world a better place than you left it. That is, or the way that, make the world a better place than you found it. That's interesting. Than you left it. This might be a situation where there was something that you did in the past that you would like to go back to and, like, sort of right the wrongs. You know, like, there might even be some conversations that you want to have with some of the women that you knew in your life. This for some of you, this isn't going to relate to all of you, but for some of you, you might have been, like I said before, bringing this competitive energy to the relationships that you had with women, and you've grown past that, and now you want to go back and apologize. You want to be like a better person than you were before and be an inspiration to the next generation. You really want to like embody your divine feminine energy, and you want to help plant seeds. Like, this is all seeds, which is all about fertility, and you have all of this fertility. And if that is the case for you, or if maybe you're not there yet, the more seeds you plant, the more fertile you are, the more you help other people, specifically women, the more you're going to gain out of it, the more you're going to end up in the spotlight, the more you're going to receive materially, but also emotionally and mentally. Like, there's going to be a real alignment for you. This is beautiful. Okay, so with that said, let's take a look at how men view you in comparison. Okay, so how do men view pile number 2? Ooh. How do men view pile number 2? Okay, let's see. First card you received is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Then you received the Page of Swords, followed by the Ten of Swords and the Moon in reverse. Oh, wow. Okay, so men, it's slightly different energy here. Okay, so the Ten of Swords is talking about painful endings. It can be talking about betrayal. The Page of Swords can be talking about looking at life through new eyes, communicating in a different way. Sometimes it can be an energy where someone doesn't necessarily edit how they're communicating, what they're saying. They have an idea or they have a judgment about something, and they just sort of blurt it out. They don't edit, and they don't think about how it's going to affect others. And then the Moon in reverse can be talking about illusions that potentially are being cast so that there can be deception. This can be like an energy of like either you not really knowing the effect that you have on other people, or you utilizing your skills of sleight of hand or deception to manipulate men. Like, now I'm not saying that this is who you are. I just want to make that clear, that this is their perception. And there is a big difference between the reality, like how spirit would see you in your actions, versus how these embodied men are seeing you, So do not listen to this and think, oh my God, men don't like me, or they don't trust me, or I'm like, that I'm saying that you're an untrustworthy person. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that there are some men that definitely have been wounded by you, and they feel like they missed out on an opportunity, and they also feel like you closed doors to them. Like, they wanted to like go through many cycles. So if you're somebody who likes to date men, this might be a situation where you have some jilted or wounded ex-lovers, where they felt like you wounded their ego. The sense that I get is that you might have been saying, look, these are the things that are blocking you from having a successful relationship or finding success in certain areas of your life, and you literally pointed their shadow out to them. And they did not like that, and they felt very wounded, and then they either broke up with you or withdrew from you, and everything that they had thought would be their future with you, they just walked away from it. But like, honestly, the sense that I get from this is that you were doing them a justice. Like, these might have been very karmic relationships as well, where literally that was your role. That was what you were supposed to do, is to point out these weaknesses and vulnerabilities so that they could finally face their own shadow and grow from it. That's the sense I get. Now, for others of you, there might be a need here for you to sort of edit how you communicate certain things. And you might have already done that. You might have already grown to a point where you're like, you look back and you're like, I probably could have communicated that in a different way. And we all go through that. I do that. I can look back at times in my life when I was trying to express myself to someone and I wasn't conscious of how my words would affect them. You know, it doesn't mean that I was wrong or I wasn't sharing the truth. I just could have said it in a nicer way, is what I'm getting at. And maybe you've gone through that as well. Let's get some more cards and find out a little bit more about how men view you. Pile number 2. All right. So we've got the lust card. So many men are lusting after you, and it's so interesting because on this card we've got this erupting volcano. There is Venus and Aries on this card, and this gives me this sense of like Adam and Eve kind of energy. So there might have been men that were interested in you, and there's a chameleon here. They tried to shift and change themselves so that they could embody who they thought you wanted, right? And honestly, a lot of men have a very bad habit of doing this, where they're not honest, like they just want to win. They want to win you over. They want to like get the prize, and they will lie basically about who they are because they want the reward. And the reward is either having you on their arm, or they get to, you know, have an intimate relationship with you. And I get the sense that that might have been where some of this wounding came in, where it's like you understood what their game was. Like you're very practiced at this. Like you understand people's motivations. You're not naive at all. And you turn them away. Or for some of you, you might have taken that on and you matched their energy. You weren't interested in laying down roots and becoming like a couple, or, you know, you weren't interested in some of the things that maybe they thought you wanted, to get married and have kids and all of that. And you were like, no, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. Like, you know, like, and that was really wounding because they wanted you to like want them. Wow, I don't know about these guys at all. Let's get some more cards and find out more. Okay, so you got the Enterprise card, Jupiter and Aries. Again, card number 1. You are very focused on your career and the things that you want to achieve in life. You aren't necessarily interested in giving it all up for somebody else. If you identify as being a woman, a lot of men will be very confused by that, because of course they assume that all women want what society tells us that we should want, which is to like be somebody's wife and mom. And I don't think that that is what you want. Now, of course, I'm assuming in that scenario that you are a woman, but you might not be. You might not identify as any kind of, you know, binary, gendered norm. You might also see yourself as somebody who just wants complete freedom and independence. And it has nothing to do with gender. It has something to do with you just wanting to, you know, have your own successes. And when something feels right, then you'll lay down roots, but you're not going to like make a plan in your mind that that is the only outcome that you could have. You're planting lots of seeds, which I think is beautiful. Then you received friendship with the moon and Cancer, card number 4. So there are many men that see you as a very, very close friend, and they like to communicate and like share ideas with you. With the crane on here, like you are a big ideas person. You're like looking towards the future. Maybe you share a lot of ideas and like you inspire them. You also received extremism with Mercury and Scorpio, card number 8, and there is the symbol for Black Moon Lilith on this card as well. So the sense that I get is that there might have been a lot of men. This is strongly, I cannot get away from this. Like you are an independent person. You don't necessarily want to get married and settle down, and they wanted you to. And then they wanted to control you. Like you brought out all of their shadow energy. Like they felt inferior because you're not wanting what you're supposed to want, at least from their experience, like from their perspective. And it is like very wounding to them. But it's very weird. Like you might have had a lot of like difficulty with men in general. Like it's just feels like they feel competitive with you. They want you, but they hate you at the same time. Some of them want to be your friend, and you might have like really strong friendships with some men, but it definitely feels like most of you have had really challenging relationships with men. It has not, you might have just completely cut yourself off. Like you just don't, like if you can avoid being around men, you will. Like I don't blame you. Let's see some more. How, as if that just happened, you just got the wheel and it came out right on top of the Wheel of Fortune. Indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. That's how men are viewing you. Like they might have wanted to withdraw from you because you wounded them, but they are now spinning a narrative, is what Spirit just told me. They're spinning this narrative that's to like help protect their own ego. They are telling themselves that you'll regret it later on. Like, you know, like one day you'll realize that, you know, once your biological clock is ticking and nobody wants you, it's like this real, like I said, like I didn't say this, I was thinking this. It's this real incel type energy. Like you don't want them, therefore they have to paint you as the villain. And they're saying like, you're just wasting your life. You're just like wandering aimlessly, as if you going after your dreams and ambitions, building your own success, possibly building your own community, your own business, is wandering aimlessly. That is the silliest thing I've ever heard. Oh, I dropped a card. 1 second. You received teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So you might actually be a masculine, and you are strongly connecting with other masculines that have had possibly some of the same struggles. You know, like you might be a very like different person to most of the men that you've met, but you don't necessarily have to be a masculine. This is just indicating that you strongly have deep friendships and deep bonds with some men. So there just feels like very polarizing energy. They just love you or they hate you. How do men view pile number 2? Okay, you received horse, short journey. So some men just want to date you. They want to have a short journey with you, or maybe that's how you view them. Maybe that's how they feel like you view them. Like you just want to, like maybe you just don't want a long-term relationship. Maybe you just want to casually date, you're around someone, or maybe you like an open relationship, something non-traditional, where, you know, like you focus on the fulfillment of the relationship. Like you're with them and you enjoy the time that you have when you're with them, and you indulge in the things that you equally like. But you're not trying to have them fulfill every role in your life. You have a lot of different people that are adding to the flavor of your life, and they're bringing different things. Then you received that. Take care, enemies are working against you. Yeah, man. Like so far out of like the piles, this has been the most challenging energy when it comes to men. Like you seem to really trigger them. It's like they really want you, and then they just really dislike you at the same time, because you just don't seem to want to give them the time of day. And you might have come to that because they wanted to control you. This extremism card is really, really telling me a narrative. Axe. Forces working against you. Yeah, they've been trying to take you down. They've been trying to like cut you off from your own sense of identity. They wanted to cage the bird. Cage the bird is what's coming for. And then, oh my God. I said cage the bird. I hope that you guys saw that. And then I turned this card over. It says nest. There's like literally a bird's nest here. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Yeah, you might have really strong relationships with the men in your family. Maybe you had a wonderful dad or like a wonderful brother, and you hold men to a really high bar. And if they're not going to be able to meet that, you don't want to have anything to do with them. And you were entitled to that. You shouldn't have to accept anything less. Lily, spiritual love. Yes, if you're interested, I mean, even if you're not romantically interested in men, it seems like you're looking for a really strong connection. Something that goes beyond just the physical. You want there to be an emotional connection with them. You don't want it just to be superficial is the sense that I get. Wow. Okay, so that concludes your reading, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts on this. I had no idea what to anticipate with this reading. I'll be honest, like it took lots of twists and turns and some of the energies were pretty challenging, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me, I do private readings. You can go to my website, odessamall.com. I do tarot card readings, but I do lots of other services. So just go to my website and you'll be able to learn more about that. And I am sending you guys so much love. I hope I see you guys in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 3, welcome back. So as I mentioned in the intro, this is a reading comparing how women see you to how men see you. So the cards in this pile will talk about how the women see you, and then I will dive into more decks to find out about the men's perspective. Now you selected the orange dried flowers and the milkweed pod. And this is giving me a general sense of your energy, how both men and women see you. So milkweed is a plant that feeds butterflies. And of course, butterflies are integral to our environment because they help to perpetuate the growth in all plants because they're pollinators. So the sense that I get is you're helping others to grow. You're helping to feed them so that they can potentially create more growth and abundance in their lives. And you're sort of feeding them the information, whether that is like directly or whether that's energetically, so that they can perpetuate and pollinate that growth in others as well. Beautiful. So I'm just going to set those aside. Let's look at how women see you. So to start off with, you received Hera, Alliance, card number 21. So women see you as an ally. They see you as on the same team as them. You're helping them to stand tall, be strong, to be leaders in their own lives, because Hera is the wife of Zeus. She is a premier goddess. And the number 21 is reducing down to the number 3, which is also about collaborations and teamwork. There's this sense that you are very exotic and unique, and that you have a very significant, you leave a significant impression on people. When I look at this card and I look at Hera, there's just this regalness to her, and she's wearing a dress that is partially made out of peacock feathers. So you do really stand out in the crowd. There's a lot of beauty around you, and the peacock is also connected to strong intuition. So you might just have this ability, the way that Spirit wants me to say this next gift is that you have an uncanny ability to sort of read into somebody's strengths and weaknesses, that you can sort of read their energy. Ah, that's beautiful. Next, love. You embody the energy of love. And this goddess has a crystal up to her throat. It looks like it's rose quartz, which is a crystal that's connected to self-love and love for others. And you must speak love to others because it's being held up to the throat chakra. And she has a halo around her head, which could be a full moon, which is all about transformation, illumination, abundance, wish fulfillment. But it could also be talking about the crown chakra, being aligned with your higher self. You come to the table with this energy of regalness, being like extremely empowered, but you embody love. That is so beautiful. Women might also, they may also fall in love with you. They might like see you as a sister or as a best friend, but they might also have romantic love feelings towards you. Next, you receive planning and action. Card number 2, energy. So you are very determined. You are taking action towards your dreams. You might be somebody who really likes to travel, explore. You are a problem solver. You are very articulate is what's coming forward. Team player. Women might see you as someone that they want to plan for with the future. Maybe they see you as somebody who's going to be in their lives forever. They might also be planning a relationship with you. They want to lay down roots and they want to explore and, not just explore on a physical sense, like literally traveling and going places, but exploring internally as well. The next card you received is Mind Your Own. That's interesting. So you might be a person that is also able to hold space for others and where they're at in their journey. You don't pressure people to reveal more than they're comfortable revealing. You share love with them. You support them. The sense that I get is you're the kind of friend that if someone needs somebody to lean on, you're there for them, but you're not going to force them to open up. You let people sort of grow and unfold in front of you at their own pace. You understand everything is in divine timing. And the sense that I get is that you also understand that you can only give advice and guidance to people when they're ready to hear it. You can offer that support, but it's almost like you know that you have the knowledge. But not everyone is always ready to hear that advice or guidance, even though it might be a benefit to them. And you don't take that personally. You wait for those to ask. And that is such a strong gift. A lot of healers really struggle with this. And I do get the sense that you have this healing energy. You're an authority when it comes to healing and pollinating, nurturing people so that they can go out and grow and thrive and help to inspire others. But most healers start off by knowing that they're healers, maybe subconsciously, and wanting to give advice and guidance and support to others, but constantly trying to feed that advice and guidance to those that are not ready to heal. So it's you see the problem clear as day, and you want to be able to give them the answers, but you're potentially giving these solutions to people that are completely closed off to that. And then they start resenting you and it creates battles and conflicts. And typically it starts by trying to heal your family and trying to heal your friends and love partners as well. And you have learned from experience that you can't force somebody. And you wait now patiently for someone to slowly become comfortable with the idea of change, and you wait for them to come to you. And you might be part of a community that embraces the healing arts. You might be a healer in your career. You might be like there's lots of different ways that you can heal. Like traditionally it would be like a nurse or a doctor or psychologist, but you could be a teacher, you could be a coach. Like there's lots of different ways that you can help heal people, but you do allow people to have their own time to grow. And you also allow them to have their own mind about things. The sense that I get is that you don't see there only being one truth. You know, like you recognize that there is your truth, there is their truth, and then there's the spiritual truth. And there is validity to all of those, you know, because we're all looking at life through our own lens. There isn't one objective truth, there's multiple. Next, you got snow leopard. Snow leopard. Take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Yeah, you've been through a healing journey. Like when I look at this Mind Your Own card, it definitely gives me this sense of somebody being in a cocoon. You have been in a period of solitude at some point in your life. The hermit phase, where you've gone within. You've reflected, and like going back to the butterfly, like you've been a caterpillar, you've gone into the cocoon, you have transformed, and you've emerged the butterfly, and you understand how difficult that process is. That's why you have patience with others. And you might also be a person who is a little bit solitary, like you sort of withdraw, like you might not have a lot of close friends in your life. You have core friends that like your ride or die, you trust them with your life, and you know, like you don't need more than that because you're not looking for external validation. Like the validation you find from within, that's self-love. And you're comfortable in your own energy. You might also be an empath, and like other people's energy sort of drain you. But I do get the sense that you find feminine energy very healing. And not all feminines, but like for the most part, you find feminine energy very healing and abundant is the word that I want to say. Because this is a snow leopard, it's a cat. Feline energy is connected to the divine feminine, and the snow leopard has that duality, like the black and white. Like you have masculine and feminine energy within you in balance, but I think you feel more comfortable in the feminine energy. And like you're comfortable with periods of like rest is what's coming forward, like periods of isolation and where things are slow. That's strongly what's coming forward throughout these cards. Like people see that within you, that you have a lot of patience and you can look at things from two different perspectives, and you're a good leader, and you might be a boss, like you might be a good manager, or you're just like a great coach and you inspire people. Then you received Emu. This is a good time to go on an adventure, and you got that planning and action card. So you might actually be somebody who just is great at organizing adventures with your friends, maybe you're a travel agent, or like you just are like the party planner. You're the person that organizes events within your community, and you're adventurous in spirit. Like you don't mind like going out of your comfort zone. Because the sense that I get is like, you don't even really believe that there is a comfort zone. Like you like to withdraw into your own space and your own energy to recuperate and rejuvenate, but you're comfortable anywhere. You know, like you might have traveled a lot, or you have been part of a lot of different communities, and that's really inspiring to the women around you. Like you don't need to like lay down roots only in one place. You can be sort of a wandering spirit, because like the snail, like you're always at home because your home is on your back, or your home is within. Like you have that self-love. And I feel like there's a lot of women that would love to learn how to do that. Because, you know, society does teach women that they need to seek external validation. And that's not unique to just women. Like men have a different kind of pressure from society to seek a different type of validation externally. But women are supposed to want to be like homebodies and like connected to, you know, a traditional home life, and to be free and carefree and wandering and adventuring is seen as like very divine masculine energy. And you just bring like this love and the strength to that kind of energy that women find very inspiring. Yes. You got the founder, foundations, community, and we've got the fire symbol. So you might actually be a founder. You might have found your own business. The word that just came forward is disruptor. You might be a person that brings sort of disruptive energy to an environment, but in a really good way. It's like very cleansing energy. Like you come in and you destabilize the status quo so that new things can start to grow, new things can sort of emerge. You come in softly is what my guides want me to say. You come in softly. Like, people don't realize the influence that you're having on them until it's too late, is what's come forward. Like, that's where this energy of change, like, you're not trying to force your opinion on them. It's just slowly influencing them over time, where they don't even know, they don't realize what kind of impact you've had on them until way later. So you make that transition very easy for them. And specifically for women, that's what's strongly coming forward. But you do build community. You know, like, you might be bringing women into partnership with other women in a way that they never have had that kind of community before. You know, like, they might have felt very competitive, or felt like they didn't have a lot to offer, or there was just this sense of like a lack of self-love. And it's like, I just keep getting these images of a whole bunch of women coming together and, like, you know, having like a weekend retreat together and sharing their dreams and aspirations and being like strong supports to each other. You know, like, and maybe for some of you, that is something that you do. Like, your coaches, your life coaches, your therapists, and you're bringing people together for community work. The Page of Wands. Yes, you look towards the future. You have big ambitions and big dreams. You help people to shed their skin, look at life through a different lens. And you don't have it all figured out, but you have faith that the things that you're envisioning for the future can materialize. You know, like, you are hopeful for what could be, and that is something that people really want to align with. Productivity with the pumpkin, the moon symbol, Cancer, the number 8, as well as the earth symbol on this card. You're very grounding. You have big dreams about the future, like I was saying. You look past illusion. It's not like you aren't aware of it. You're an optimist, but you're not delusional. It's not like you're ignoring where things might go wrong, where there might be obstacles. You're grounded in what you want to achieve. You just have faith that if we're open emotionally, that we can come together and support each other and help each other to ground, that we will have more productivity. The sense that I get, it's like you're transforming people in a magical sense, like the pumpkin being transformed into a beautiful carriage, carrying Cinderella to the ball. Like, you do that. You help people to transform themselves so they can go on this journey. And the number 8, it's like you help them to understand that there's going to be growth periods and then there's going to be lean times. But that doesn't mean that they need to be afraid. That they can, those lean times, it's like an opportunity for them to sort of take a break. It's like the cycles in nature. You have growth periods of spring and summer, and then you have to have rest periods like fall and winter. And you do that. You help people to understand that. Then you received rituals, sweet corn, earth symbol, Leo, number 10. this card is strongly giving me the sense of like a retreat, like you're building a community. Corn is talking about abundance as well. And there's incense on this card. There's a lot of energy of cleansing. Number 10, the end of a cycle. And like there's a sweetness. It's literally sweet corn. So there's a sweetness to it, but you are comfortable being in the spotlight with Leo as well as with Hera. You are completely comfortable being in the spotlight, being the leader, being a figurehead. Like maybe you're like the strongest voice in the room, but not in an aggressive way. You do it in a soft, subtle way. It's like you stepped into that leadership role because you just naturally ended up there, not because you forced your way there. And there's a lot of women that really, really resonate with that. They want to be like you is what I get. You know, and maybe you don't identify as a woman. If you identify as a masculine, or you don't, you know, like associate yourself with gender norms and all of that stuff, you just don't even think about yourself that way, that's totally cool. The energy I get is that you're still bringing that same energy to the table. You're helping people to feel comfortable, you know, laying foundations in a different way and going through cycles and finding abundance and cleansing themselves of their insecurities and feeling confident with the community and helping to support each other and taking risks and looking towards the future. And like, no, we don't have it all figured out, but that's okay. We will as we continue forward. And there'll be times when we don't know where we're going and we have to pause, and then there'll be times when we have to grow again. This is beautiful. Okay, let's move on and find out how men view you. All right, how do men view pile number 3? Okay. So you've got the Knight of Wands, similar energy. You know, men see you as a forward-thinking person who will take risks, take action. You just dive in. You're ready for the challenge. You're not afraid of that. And you're not afraid that you're going to burn out, that you're going to shine too bright, you're going to be in the spotlight. You're not afraid that, you know, things might crumble and fall away or fall apart. You know, that's part of the journey. That's part of the excitement, you know, like just the not knowing part. And you're just excited and invigorated by the entire quest is the sense that I'm getting. Like there's a real like sense of adventure that you bring to life. Ooh, you got the Queen of Cups. Extremely intuitive, extremely empathic. Someone who really does see through, like, you see the struggles that other people have experienced. You share your own experience. And I feel like you're vulnerable with men. Like you open yourself up. With all of the fish on this card, it makes me think of the Lenormand, the fish card, and it's all about like community coming together, and it can be talking about abundance as well. Like you help men to get in tune with their own intuition and their own emotional side and to feel comfortable and grounded. Like if some of you are interested in being like life coaches or like doing retreats, this is a strong confirmation that that is something that you should start planning for, because you would be really good at it. Being a relationship coach, something like that. Like there's this ability that you have to help people open up to their emotions that is very rare and beautiful. But at the same time, it's not like it's all emotions. You're able to like ground it into the physical. Like, yes, we can open up with our emotions, but we're not going to allow that to just completely override like what we're actually physically doing in this world. It's like you find that balance, and that to me feels like a struggle between divine masculine and divine feminine. So you bring that together for people. 2 of Wands, you help men to get out of this energy of stagnancy. You help them to see past illusions, to make decisions, to figure out what path they're going to go down. Like to maybe break free of gender norms is what's coming forward. Like not to feel trapped by, their own ideas of masculinity, to feel like all of that is propaganda is what's coming forward. Like you get to decide on an individual level who you want to be. You don't have to like follow any prescribed idea of like what is a man and what is a woman. Like none of that is important. But I mean, if it doesn't have anything to do with gender specifically, you're still helping people to make decisions where they might feel like they don't know what path to go down. Like, and to trust in the universe. Like oftentimes on a personal level, I have found that like I don't know where I'm going when it comes to like my next step on the path. I only know 1 or 2 steps forward. And 1 or 2 steps forward might not tell me much of anything. And I just have to have faith that I'm being guided in the right direction. And I just have to sort of like walk anyways, like, am I going to be caught or am I going to fall? Regardless, whether I am caught or I fall, it's all happening for my benefit. If I fall, then it ends up in a tower moment and I learn something from that. If I'm caught, then I have more faith in the universe. Regardless, it's all for our benefit. And you're helping men to realize that. Then you receive the hangman. Yeah, you help them based on your own knowledge to look at things from a different perspective. And you just seem very grounded in that. It's like, once again, like the energy that you brought to women's lives. You're very patient. You're collaborative. This is card number 12, reducing down to the number 3 again, right? This was card number 21, and now we've got card number 12. So yeah, you're very collaborative. You're very patient. Very, very patient. The King of Swords. So you're able to articulate things that men have a lot of trouble either wrapping their mind around or finding the right words for. And you might be able to take strong emotions and infuse that with logic so that they feel more comfortable. Like you're able to rationalize things that they might feel are a little chaotic because, oftentimes men don't feel that comfortable with the emotional side of things. And this is a gross generalization. I realize that this is not all men, but in a general sense, oftentimes men don't feel as comfortable leaning into their intuition and how they're feeling because there's a lot of pressure on them to constantly be in this like hyper-masculinized logical thinking. But there can be a balance between both, and that's what it looks like. You help them to sort of figure out that balance, and it's extremely inspiring. And like the King of Swords is a strong leader and can be very diplomatic. Once again, like Hera, like you have this energy. Hera, King of Swords, very similar energy, where you're able to like look at both sides of the problem and find that middle ground. And the Fool, oh my God, that's so the energy I was talking about, where it's like, you just take that leap of faith and the universe will catch you. And no matter what, it's all going to work out in your favor. Like it's like I just keep getting this sense like, you're taking that step off of a cliff and it's like there's an invisible bridge there. But of course, you don't know for sure if the invisible bridge is there because, of course, it's invisible. And you just take that step anyways. Wow. And like, no matter how old you are, you're extremely free-spirited and adventurous. That's strongly coming forward. If you don't currently have a lifestyle that allows you to travel and experience new things, like I guarantee that's in your heart, that's something that you want to do. Now it's time for you to start materializing that. Like it's time. Like for many of you, I get the sense that your work like your perfect job will be one where you get to travel and see how different people live, or potentially even like work with different communities. Like that is strongly coming forward. Let's get some more cards and find out how men view you, pile number 3. Okay. You got the adaptability card. Beautiful. And there's the moon and Gemini card number 3. Once again, the number 3 coming forward. This ability to be able to collaborate with different people and to multitask and to show different skills and to share that with others. Like, you share everything that you have, like everything that you've experienced is meaningless unless you make meaning of it. So the pain, you've been in isolation, you've been in that hermit mode, and you've taken the time to figure out what was the deeper meaning, and you are able to then articulate that and share that with the men in your life so that they can start to see their own life struggles through that same lens. Beautiful. Resourcefulness, the sun with Cancer, number 4. So you're extremely resourceful. You're able to use the things around you. Once again, this is the same energy as the adaptability card. They're just extremely impressed at how you're able to use potentially what they see as being limited resources, and you're able to transmutate it. It's either like you're able to multiply that energy, like what's coming forward is that game, you know, like where someone starts off with like a paper clip and they trade it until they get up to a house. That's the kind of energy you have. You have this long-term vision. It's like, yeah, we're going to wait. We're going to plant seeds. You're going to take that paper clip and you're just going to trade and trade and trade and trade and trade. And eventually you're just going to get to this massive reward. And some of these men feel like they don't have the patience for that. And you're starting to show them that, no, you can have patience. You know, slow and steady wins the race is the sense that I get. The 4 being all about stability. And there's a raven or a crow, which is connected to messages from the other realms, messages from spirit. It can also be talking about death and transformation. So they might, and hubris just came forward. So you're helping them to let go of their ego. Let go of your ego. Don't feel like you have to be like the leader, the champion, and you have to be victorious right now. And there's lots of different ways that you can be a victor instead of like just looking at victory through one narrow point of view. Like you're shifting that. It's like you don't have to be, you know, the sense that I get is like overbearing. You don't have to be like a bully to be seen as strong. Like there's this sense that like showing up as a divine masculine and more divine feminine energy, which is really, really interesting. You might actually identify as being a masculine. That's the sense I get for many of you. It's like you are, you know, showing other men how to be masculine in a different way. Quarrel. And there's the Mars symbol and Cancer, and this is card number 4. That is wild. So yeah, like this energy really feels like fighting with your own emotions. Like facing your own inner masculine. Like you might have also been a very like assertive, aggressive, even potentially aggressive person in the past. And I don't mean like you're violent. I mean just like it's all this fire energy. Like I'm just gonna really like be forceful in how I get ahead. Like this really like competitive edge. And you're learning how to adapt that energy. And some men might still see you as strong competition. Like you might the fact that you look at life in a different way is very threatening to them, is the sense that I get. Extremely threatening. And they want you to stop. Oh God, I hate that. I just got the word simp. I absolutely hate that. I dislike the fact that there are these ideas, these like very narrow definitions of what masculinity is or what femininity is. And then there's all of these buzzwords that just strike fear into especially young men, feeling like they need to like that being emotionally available or nice to women and supportive of their like viewpoint is somehow something that should be avoided and that it should be looked down on. Like that is so sad. Like that honestly is if you want to be if you want to be miserable for the rest of your life as a masculine, yeah, just drink that energy in, because it will lead you to not only dislike women, which is half the population, but it'll also lead you to hate yourself, because we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy within us, and we all come from the divine feminine. You cannot be alive unless a woman was involved. So the whole idea of it just seems absurd to me. And it seems that it's sort of absurd to you as well. You got acquisition with the sun and Taurus, and then card number 2. Yeah, you're extremely balanced when it comes to your energy and your love of divine feminine, divine masculine. You see both sides of humanity as perfect and beautiful, and that there needs to be a union, that's how we create stability. And there is this sense of you being potentially very fashionable. You're really like to express yourself, like you shed your skin, that men like there's this energy of you being somebody who's sort of like at the cutting edge of fashion. So you might work in fashion or be involved in fashion, or you just like really like to show that creative side of yourself through your clothing. But I do think that you have strong relationships with women, and I think that you value and respect their opinion, and you value and respect their contribution, and you love them. Like you might date women, but even if that's not the case, you love them. Like there is this strong sense of compatibility, companionship, and love in that card. Vision. Beautiful. And we've got Pisces here and the sun. Card number 12, which brings back to that number 3. You might start seeing the number 3 everywhere, or numbers that divide down or like reduce down to the number 3. So you have strong vision, you have strong intuition, you probably have clairvoyance, the gift of clear seeing. You probably have clear visions in your mind. Like if someone says to you that there is a green wagon, like you can see what a green wagon looks like in your mind. You might also see synchronicities around you in nature. Like you are just seeing things that other people, like the number 3. Like you're probably going to start seeing that everywhere. And it'll be a confirmation that this reading is for you. You see how, like, you also strongly see, like, the sense that I get is you can read people's emotions and you see their vulnerabilities. And what came forward is you see their weaknesses, but you don't see it in a way that you want to exploit that. You see like how that could be a trigger to them. And that is partially why you're going to be so successful if you choose to use your gifts and talents to help others, help to liberate them. Like, I don't know, like there's at least 1 or 2 of you out there that really wants to like help people, be a coach, be a guide. Like maybe it's a side hustle that you do. Maybe it's something that like it's a hobby, but it's like, it feels like you are being a mentor specifically to men, but like there's some of you that are mentoring women as well. I don't know. It's just strong sense of mentorship and balancing our intuition, like how we integrate that into life. There's like a sense that there's a deeper meaning or more messages that spirit wants to communicate with you. So there might be some people that are watching this that you're new to all of this, is like you haven't really watched a lot of tarot card readings. And if that's the case, dive in, start watching as many readings as you can or you feel called to, because it feels like spirit has a lot of messages that they want to share with you. Let's find out some more about you, pile number 3. How do men view pile number 3? You might have strong Taurus energy in your chart. You just got the bull. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Yeah, like I was saying before, there's some men that feel threatened by you. They don't like your position on things. They want you to stop, and they're going to try and battle you. But just dig in your heels. You're building something that is going to have long-term success. You received kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead, but you got the planning and action card. Time to go on a new adventure. There is something that you're planning for the future. I just got the Minotaur. You either have or already are through your labyrinth. Like there's been a period of self-reflection, looking at the darkness, having to battle your own shadow, your own ego, and you are aware, like the sense that I get is that you know that the shadow doesn't go anywhere. You just either learn how to integrate it as an ally or you keep running from it. And you are now aware of how your ego can be triggered, and you're planning ahead to help yourself stay grounded, to not lose your temper, to not be thrown off by the actions or the reactions of other people. Like you're planning ahead for the times when you're emotionally dysregulated, so that you don't like lose your cool and destroy something that might be valuable to you. This might be a situation where it's like you want to have better relationships. You want to have better relationships. You want to communicate better with people. So you now are going to start to like police yourself so that you don't ruin something that you really find valuable. Next, wheel. Indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. You might connect with pile number 1. This card came out in that pile as well, but the sense that I get is that some men feel like you're just rambling, wandering aimlessly. You might just have this strong sense of adventure, and you haven't laid down traditional roots, and they don't relate to that. And that's okay. Dog barking, advice from a friend. So, and there's literally a labyrinth behind this freaking dog's head. That is nuts. Okay, so some men see you and your advice as combative. They feel like you're just like barking up the wrong tree, is the sense I get. But many men see your advice as very, very valuable. They see you as very insightful, and they're very loyal to you, because the dogs are traditionally, it's a symbol of loyalty and devotion and unconditional love, which is so beautiful. So that concludes your reading, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been such a pleasure. I would love to know your thoughts on the reading in the comments below. And if any of you are interested in working with me, I do private readings. You can go to my website, odessamull.com, and you'll be able to find out more information about the services that I offer. I do tarot card readings, but I also do lots of other things. So you can go and check that out. And I wish you all of the best. I am sending you so much love, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.